Aquarius, you've entered the house of sigils. Welcome in. Today's reading will be for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And since it's the Nordic Nuance series, at the end I will be pulling a Norse Magic Oracle card for you, as well as a Nordic rune. The runes are new to me, but I find them absolutely entrancing, so I couldn't help but try to incorporate them in somehow. So I'm going to divide the deck in two. The left side will be the yin energies, both top and bottom cards of the deck. And the right hand pile will be the yang energy, both top and bottom cards of the deck. And let's be surprised together what we find. Aquarius, what's going on? The Devil card. Very, very earthy Capricorn energy. Symbol of the phallus piercing into the unknown. The goat that's climbing the mountain with the central third eye. What is coming into fruition for you, Aquarius, or what are you trying to overcome? You can see the card has this sort of black oily film or these strands of things in the background. And you can see in the bottom these two orbs that there are people inside it trying to push their way out. Symbols of DNA, right? Moving upward through this sort of darkened sky or darkened portal, sort of moving through and using a personal power. We'll gain some clarity with the other cards, but let's dig into the Devil just a little bit. It's always nice to have a bit of a teacher. Capricorn energy, procreative energy, new vitality, humor, sensuality, sexuality, creative energy, individuality. Aquarius, are you on a journey to find yourself again? Are you striving for that thing that helps you to find who you are once more? This card can be very much misunderstood. But I think you have to kind of move away from popular misunderstandings of the Devil card, right? Doesn't necessarily mean the devil's at your doorstep or peering over your shoulder, right? A lot of times represents the god Pan. You can see that the card does represent a phallic symbol. Like, it's pretty obvious is what that does represent, right? But it's connected to the earth through this black rod, and it pierces the heavens, right? Up into the cosmos. And it is a card of creative union. So perhaps there is a friend or someone, a significant other, or a family member that is helping you create something, helping you come to that place to know yourself again, to understand who you are and where you came from. There could be at this time, like, even though we don't necessarily think this card represents the devil, there can be instances where people would seek to demonize you in this moment and make you out to be something that you aren't. But basically, what it's asking you to do is to accept what life gives you. And the old adage, make lemonade out of lemons. To turn lemons into lemonade, right? To accept this judgment with lightheartedness and humor. To keep your feet on the ground, basically. To understand that you are moving forward quite quickly, but you have to stay grounded and present in what you are, what you know, and what you believe. But there also carries with the card is a secret desire, right? Is there something that you wish for or secretly desire that you haven't gone after, or that you haven't approached or tried to find or seek out? And it's asking you exactly that, come find me. What is this thing that you're secretly actively trying to express or trying to bring into the world? Let's get a little more clarity on the Devil card with the outward energies. So the card in this position would be, what are you outwardly? How are you outwardly affecting the world? Right? How are you influencing the world around you? How are you expressing yourself outwardly? The Queen of Wands. So the water of fire, wands being fire, queens representing water, right? The Queen of Wands is well, first of all, the core cards can represent people in your life, and they can represent you. In this case, I feel like it is representing you, in that, not that you have become the Queen of Wands or the embodiment of fire, but that you desire to. And this speaks directly to what I was saying before. What is the secret desire of yours that you wish to be or to become in this embodiment of the Queen of Wands? Let's dig a little bit deeper into the Queen. So, watery aspect of fire, self-knowledge, change, compassion. You can see that her demeanor is that of sitting on a throne of power, right? Sitting in a seated place of knowing herself well, knowing what those things are that she desires most vehemently, and sitting in that power and understanding and becoming the embodiment of those things. But she's asking us to ground ourselves into the realization of Earth. But then allowing others to share in it, right? Allowing others to understand who you are and who you've become. Because you've worked hard. You're working hard, and you made some progress on yourself, right? And you're moving toward that place that you may become, questioned for or demonized for. But remember to stay lighthearted about it, whatever it is that's coming your way. And it may exactly be the time to share those things that you know about yourself and the knowledge about the things that you've learned and moved through, and share them with others, right? The things that you have found are going to be pleasing to others, and so share them. Let's take a look at the receptive side of things. So this would be what you're receptive and open to, obviously, and then which people, energies, and events that you are attracting. The King of Wands. So this is the fire of fire. This is the natural progression from the Queen of Wands to the King of Wands. Now, it does say knight because the knights in the Thoth Tarot represent kings. So the princesses being the studious aspect, right, of fire, learning about the fire. The princes would be the putting the aspects of fire into practice, right? The queens would be the embodiment of that fire, living that, and then the kings would be the outward expression of that fire. What you're actively doing in the physical plane with the fire. As you can see, he carries the Ace of Wands in his hand. So being in the place of the things that you're receptive to, or the people, places, and events that you're attracting, by being that person sitting in power and understanding what it is that you want, accepting it and sharing with others, you are attracting that king, right? And I can't help but think for you, Aquarius, is there someone significant that this knight, or king, remember, represents for you? Both stepping into this place of desire, or this thing that you've both longed for. Let's see what that might be. So this would be the key. This would be a way in which to overcome a problem. Although sometimes this can be sent the problem. And then these three cards would represent the key and how to move around it or actively seek a way out of it. We have the 9 of discs, the 9 of pentacles. This is a card of making it, right? This is a card of pure materialistic success, right? It can also be a card of inner success, of riches, in particular. And so we see this is a card with Virgo energy. Let's dig a little bit deeper into the Nine of Pentacles for you, and to see how this would suggest a way out. Venus and Virgo, growth, gain, bonded by love, wisdom, creativity, and the more I give, the more I receive. That's exactly what the Queen is asking you to do, to give of the things that you know about yourself, and to receive the fire from the night in this union of desire, whatever it is that it is for you, partnership or love situation, and to understand that by doing those things, we are growing in love, wisdom, and creativity. The more you give, the more you receive. We can see that one of the highest or most difficult sometimes tasks in life is to realize ourselves, is to realize that we are the king and the queen, and that we do have to embody those things that we are here in the earthly plane, right? And to not deny it, and to understand that even though there are these other aspects of ourselves, this material aspect is rich and full of life, right? And that we need to stay on top of life's tasks, and we can't necessarily let all of them go. We've got to stay on top of them to keep them moving forward dynamically. And it's asking us to combine to reach our goals. And perhaps this is Aquarian male, Aquarian female, it doesn't matter. There's whichever one you are, the queen or the king, you're working in tandem together, moving forward with this desire and building this place of solid, stable ground. But it comes from being able to give willingly and lovingly, right? It also means to give yourself to the universe, giving yourself to life. That way you fulfill the cosmic law of the universe. Right? The more you give, the more you receive. Let's get you a Norse magic. I'm interested to see what pops up here. The Norse magic oracle. These have already been shuffled. I'm just going to divide the deck and take the card right out of the middle and be surprised together. We have Fenrir. Let's read about Fenrir, shall we? So Fenrir, associations of fear, anger, and disappointment. Chained and betrayed, his great strength inhibited, until the rage tears everything apart and the end for all is near. Fenrir's appearance in your life probably indicates a wound you carry around, a wound that binds you, and is born of disappointment or betrayal, a wound that makes you angry, and that if you don't take care of it mindfully will make you lose control of yourself. At heart, Fenrir is a puppy, immature and ultimately succumbing to his rage. As adults, we deal with such things differently and find ways to let our inner hurts heal slowly but steadily. Likewise, Fenrir's howl can warn you not to let yourself be taken advantage of in certain situations. Here, this mythological wolf points you to the fine line between basic trust and naivete. Fenrir, in my mind, goes here with the devil, right? And connects the fiery aspects of whoever these two are together in this healing of a wound or this secret desire, right, to gain this intrinsic and extrinsic wealth in the material plane here. It's become aware of your current shackles, to Become aware of the things that would hinder you from making that, piercing that cosmic realm. Let's pull you a North Moon and see where it falls out. So we have not Gabo, however, as I said before, the runes being very new to me, but wanting to integrate them in some way. Degas, that's right. 184 Degas. Light of the Gods, Degas, Daybreak. Dawn breaks over an eastern hillside, brightening the fields, forest, and fords. Literally means day, and represents the sun's rays, and thus our connection to the world of light. Whereas Suelo, the rune of the sun itself, refers to the source. Degas is widely regarded in contemporary divination as a rune of earthly blessings. Earthly blessings, the 9 of discs. And the dawning of spiritual enlightenment. Moving forward through that cosmic veil, right? You are walking in the light, and this fills each facet of your life with warmth and illumination. Degas can also mean day in the sense of a cycle of time that encompasses both day and night. It is especially so associated with the transitional zones of twilight and dawn, consequently with the shift from an old state or condition to a new one. You may therefore be in a period of transition in which a long night of the soul is melting in the long light of a new day. So, interesting that the cards balance one another and lend powers to each other, but that both require a coming together or a union, a unification to pierce through the old trappings of old thinking and to coming to that solid foundation of blessings on earth. Hope that makes sense for you, Aquarius. If there's anything in the reading that resonated, please let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And always keep your personal sigil of protection close at hand should the darkness decide to answer the call.